Leah on the light. I'm sorry that I haven't podcasted in a while, but in a way, I'm kind of thinking that now is a perfect time to do so. I'm kind of in a dark season in my life, and it's funny how in dark seasons, our faith most times begins to increase. I'm going to tell you about such a dark season in my life. February 8th, 2016. I came home from school. I had a bad day. I got a call from my then girlfriend. We're going to give her the name Athalia. And I was hoping that she'd be sweet and wanting to kind of commiserate, say, hey, baby, you'll be okay. But she's giving me this spiel. Must have heard it hundreds of times before, you know. Must have heard it hundreds of times before. And she said, I know I decided to be with you yesterday, but I changed my mind. I'm going back to my ex-boyfriend. So I said, okay, your number's going to be blocked. Don't even try to call me. It's over. I'm done. Because 3 days before, when she was putting me through an emotional roller coaster, I told myself, I said, okay, this is the ultimatum, okay? She's either with me or she's not. If it's apparent to me that she's not, it's over. I have been dealing with this for over 2 months now, and I am done. Okay, and so she calls me 2 days later while I'm at school working on some projects for UTPB in Actus, UT Permian Basin in Actus. And she said, well, I was only playing with you. I really didn't mean it. And I was kind of like, no, I'm not playing this game no more. And she kept calling me, and especially, while I was in the temple, thank goodness I didn't have a phone, but she would blow up my phone. And Bishop Dave says, you've got a better thing to concentrate on now. Don't even answer her calls. And then I get a call, I come home, and I get a call from my sister-in-law saying, you need to try to go back with her. I said, no, y'all need to tell her to leave me alone. Of course they wouldn't. Ultimately, the Lord saw that. I wasn't very happy about it, but I'm happy about it now. Where I get in charge of my phone number, and the phone number changes. Now, isn't that the beautiful thing about that? Isn't that a beautiful thing? And it took a little while, but my faith, my great adventure, my conversion began once again to be in recovery. I started studying the scriptures. I started being in strength. And I think that's one thing I need, is to be a little bit more in depth with the scriptures now, with what's going on in my life. But I started planting that seed of faith. And I'm not saying that everything was perfect for a little while because of the sting of the relationship with Athalia. I went through the motions. And, well, I don't know really how else to say it, but it just became... There was a shooting one day in Dallas in 2016, and I thought, okay, that's it. It's time for me to get my faith renewed. It's time for me to get my faith renewed. This is it. That's enough. So I started getting more and more in depth into the scriptures. I started getting more and more in depth into the kingdom. Before long, I was called to be a teacher in the elders quorum. Things were beginning to look up. I began to teach myself lessons in the gospel like you wouldn't believe. Now, granted, the dark spell for my relationship with Athaliah after the breakup lasted about 5 months. And then, little by little, it began to recover. But do you really want to know what it was that caused it to majorly recover? It was Memorial Day weekend, 2017. I went with Bishop Dave and his family to Austin. And I was battling through a serious depression. Such to the point that I was considering hospitalization. And instead, I was invited to take this trip to Austin. And it was a blessing. I knew I had to go. I had to make the most of it. During that weekend, my faith began to rally like never before. Because while I was gone in Austin, I stumbled across an old contemporary Christian song by this artist named Carmen. And the song says, "It may seem like Friday night, but Sunday's on the way." And there have been some times when I've had some pretty dark seasons in my life where I felt lonely, where I felt like I didn't fit in, where I felt like it didn't matter. And I would sing that song. And I'm going to go ahead and sing the chorus of it for you. Get ready. On Friday night, they crucified the Lord at Calvary. But he said, don't dread, in 3 days, I'm gonna live again, you'll see. When problems try to bury you and make it hard to pray, it may seem like Friday night, but Sunday's on the way. Let me tell you something. I'm not saying that things magically improved. But after that, it took a month and a half for me to rebound, and it was like my faith was golden. My faith was golden. I stayed strong in the Lord. I would go to the Lord when I was just down with no way out, not thinking that He really cared, and He always came through. He always came through. And so, as a result, I saw, even though there were still some dark clouds in 2017, the thing that made my difference, the thing that carried me through, was my faith. My faith was in recovery. Guess what? I started having more of a passion of going to the temple. I got more and more in depth into the scriptures. I prayed like never before. I meditated in the presence of the Lord. I felt those things. And it was wonderful. It's kind of like, this is the Lord's doing, and it is marvelous in our eyes. Marvelous in our eyes. And it was, I gotta say, the Lord knew what He was doing with me. I became a student of the gospel. My passion for what was known back then as home teaching began to pick back up. Things were looking up like never before. It was like, wow, amazing. Totally amazing. A guy like me doing whatever he could to improve his life. And you know what? That faith in recovery sustained me through early 2018 when I was injured. And I hope that you enjoyed listening to Leahona Light. If you like what you hear, please subscribe and become a part of the Leahona Light community. Take care and God bless.